you bring news of disaster, Augustus?
And if not, we wonder why not, since disaster has struck.
Yes. Your colony of Guardians in the ruins of Engar has been eradicated. A great magic wrought massive destruction there. Not a single Guardian escaped.
Your concern is touchy, but out of place.
There are other Guardian colonies. The loss of one is meaningless.
That is the only disaster you report?
Yes, my magnificence. There are no others.
And what of your treachery to us?
Treachery?
All in good time. It matters not that you bear us ill will, Augustus. It will come to no end. You lack the power to destroy me.
Or even elevate yourself to our level. The future has unfolded before me through a vision.
One of my many visions.
A vision of my conquering the absent horror. Ulyaoth, master of the plains. The magic of the plains is no match for the power of the mind. And thus, it will be destroyed.
Then the gate shall be opened, and you shall once again grace the earth with your presence. Master, I bring thee grave news. The colony of Guardians in the ruins of Engar has been decimated. Without them, I fear we are lost.
Your fears are unfounded, servant. This news is irrelevant. I have seen the future that will come to pass. In this vision, I see myself crushing Xel'lotath as I was destined to do. My many mouths consume its body from all sides, gnawing at it until nothing remains. This I've seen. This is what will be.
You would place all our faith in a vision?
Yes. Just as I have placed all my faith in you.
Master, I am saddened to report the destruction of the Guardian colony at the ruin of Engar.
I am not without eyes, servant. I knew of their loss as it happened. It is not a concern of mine. The Guardians were merely tools to forward the greater cause. Think of them as casualties of war.
But the balance of power has shifted with their loss.
Nonsense! Balance? There has never been balance. If anything, we shall remove all balance. Our plan continues as predicted. I have seen the future, Pius, and it portends a great battle between myself and the great being of matter. Chattur'gha will fall to my superiority. The power of Chattur'gha is useless against me.
Of course, as it was meant to be. The gates will be readied, just the same.
We shall overcome. Be patient, my servant. Be patient.
Alex finds a scrap of paper tucked between the pages of the tome. It appears to be a note from Edward. Now that scene right there is pretty important for several reasons. One, Xel'lotath is accusing Pius of betraying her. Now, why she's accusing him of that, we don't know just yet. But she does say that it's not important because she had a vision of herself destroying Ulyaoth. Now, not only does she have a vision of herself destroying Ulyaoth, when you play through it with Ulyaoth, Ulyaoth has a vision of himself destroying Chattur'gha. And when you play through it with Chattur'gha, Chattur'gha has a vision of himself destroying Xel'lotath. I'll splice those in probably later, just so you can see what I mean. That will mean something even more important as we get further and further into the game. But right now we're going to save. Now, I'm also going to take a break for a little bit. I think we've only been playing for about 2 hours now. Yeah, just a little over 2 hours. So I'm going to rest for a little bit, maybe take, half an hour to get up, move around, stretch my legs a bit. But we're real close to the end of the game, actually. We've only got 2 more chapters, although they're 2 pretty long chapters. So I'm going to stop the stream, but we'll come back probably in about half an hour, and we'll finish the game off. See you then. Okay, now we also have a note here from Grandpa. A small note written on a page from the Tome of Eternal Darkness. Dear Alex, I have left you a small surprise to keep you going when everything seems to go awry. It was my favorite tipple, and there are several barrels of it in the basement. Please help yourself to what you can find. My guess is that I won't be needing it. Your loving grandfather, Edward. Alright, so Grandpa left us booze. Ooh, I missed this. A pump-action shotgun hangs from a plaque mounted on the dusty wall. Ooh, something is stashed between the barrels of port. A pickaxe. Now, the pickaxe is not a weapon. A hefty pickaxe for demolishing walls. Too cumbersome to be used as a weapon. It might be handy somewhere else. So, do you happen to remember any walls we wanted to smash down? I do. Yeah, right here where the wallpaper doesn't quite line up right. Remember back in Maximilian's time, this was the door to the servants' quarters. Yeah, so Max was in here, and he murdered all his servants. They may or may not have been bone thieves. But there's something in the middle of the room here. Ugh. But it's protected. It's protected by a magical barrier of Chattur'gha. So we're going to need an unnatural to spell magic. Oh, dang it. Try that again. An antique stethoscope, seemingly accidentally dropped into the pile of ash, glints brightly in the light of the room. Should Alex retrieve it? Yep. There's something else here. A scrap of paper, unmarked by the fire, lies amidst the bones and ash. It's a page from the journal of Maximilian Roivas. This page from Maximilian Roivas' journal. It reads, "As I contemplate these ideas, my suspicions of my servants grew, and I became increasingly fearful of them. I began to watch them carefully. Days ago I watched one of them stretch his neck. I could have sworn I saw it twist in a most particular direction, and a bulge of muscle tissue collect and grow in the most incorrect of manners, as if the bone was being displaced from its proper location and something else was moving in its place. I stumbled away knowing that I was surrounded by the unholy creatures that wore the skin of mortal men and women. I had to take action. Dear God, let my hand be swift and merciful, lest the world see more of these diabolical creatures." Uh-oh, you hear that? Yeah, it's a bone thief. The monsters are starting to come into the mansion. Oh, get off me. This is Alex's first real encounter with these creatures. Remember, the zombies she fought at the very beginning were just in her dream. They might not have even been real. Alright, I'm going to use a little bit of magic just to move things a little closer to the top of our inventory here, like our revolver. So I can hear a trapper. Goodbye. Yeah, but that wasn't it. There are more of them. Die, monster. You don't belong in this world. Okay, well, she mentioned if she had a stethoscope, she could use it on this safe here. Now that Alex has the stethoscope, she can easily hear the tumblers inside. To open this safe, the dial should be turned to the right until the tumblers can be heard, falling into place. Then turn to the left until the same sound is heard, and then finally to the right until the sound of the safe is being unlocked is heard. Now, let me see, if I remember it correctly, I think it was like something like 61, maybe it was 81. Ah, we got it. Good job. And looky. As the safe door inches open, its contents are revealed. Many important items left behind by Edward lie on the shelves inside. Should Alex collect the items? Alright, the Essence of Chattur'gha. A crankshaft. A letter from Edward. And the chapter page, Ashes to Ashes.
A storm approaches, Augustus.
A storm of metal and fire, and a torrent of souls along with it, young and vibrant.
Yes, I have seen it coming. A worthy sacrifice, I am sure, and one that will allow the greater guardian that resides below to finish its channeling. With this sacrifice of souls I make unto thee, Great One, the gate shall be ready to be opened, and your freedom shall be at hand.
Now, first, let's take a look at Edward's letter.
Dear Alexandra, if you are reading this, Alex, then I am surely dead. Knowing that the police will contact my only living relative, I made sure to leave this message for you. As I write this letter, Pius Augustus is waiting for his chance to strike me down for what I have done to the Guardian City. I believe I have slowed Augustus's plans, but not stopped them completely. He will still try to bring his ancient into this world. You must continue what our ancestor Max has started. You must gather the artifacts and call forth an ancient to combat what Augustus brings into this world. Of the artifacts, there are 4, but one of these is in the clutches of Pius himself. They are the Black Heart of Mantarok, the Claw of Chattur'gha, the Sigil of Xel'lotath, the Veil of Uliauth. Your skill in the arcane science will not be as strong as Pius's, who has had 2 millennium to prepare his gate. You will need all the remaining artifacts to match his power. It all rests with you, my dear. I wish you well in this desperate act. I wish I had more guidance for you, but I am at my wit's end, and I feel I am running out of time. Your loving grandfather, Edward.
Alright, so Edward just dropped some heavy stuff on us. It's up to us to stop Pius and whatever he is trying to summon. And we're going to have to do it by summoning another ancient. Okay. So the only thing we can do at this point is read the chapter, Ashes to Ashes.
Wherever disaster and death lurk, there is likely to be an ancient just beyond our senses, waiting. They prey on our misfortune and exploit it toward their own twisted ends. When hundreds of oil fields are set ablaze on the heels of war, the ancient's grip tightens, knowing that lives will be forfeit and resources squandered. But a few people make a difference. People like Michael Edwards, a Canadian industrial firefighter hired to put an end to the insanity at the end of the war. Ironically for him, the insanity was just beginning.
How's the temperature in there?
It's hotter than hell here. I'm getting a little nervous about this one. It feels more out of control than the others. More powerful. I don't know how else to describe it.
This is the safest way to blow out these things. You've done this enough to know that. It's by the numbers. It's all good. Just relax.
The silicone cloth and the water spray are there, so you're probably right. We've got 500 pounds of 80% nitroglycerin grade dynamite all in place. We're good to go.
Edwards, you can pull your team back now. Get your team to a safe distance and we'll try to kill the fire.
Sure thing. Coming back now.
We're getting a pressure increase at the well cap. It's gonna tear itself apart. Hurry! Get your team out of...
And looky what they've found.
What the hell happened? They're all dead. McCormick, Patterson, all gone. Looks like they've been buried alive under tons of concrete.
Take this. Guard it well. Many have perished for it. Take it. Take it to the ruins of Enga. At the ruins, a gathering of light.
You want me to take this to some ruins under a house in Rhode Island?
Take it. Save us. All.
Sensing the danger, Mike protects his hands from the insidious magic by using his coat to carefully pick the artifact from the debris-strewn floor. Michael has acquired the Essence of Uliath. Michael also found a ruby effigy and a sapphire effigy. So the ruby and sapphire effigies that Kareem and Roberto found have now passed their way onto him. Alright, there are already some zombies stomping around, so let's deal with them. Michael comes a little better equipped than some of the other characters. He's got a flashlight, a durable emergency flashlight equipped with a long endurance battery, and a fire axe. A multi-purpose fire axe made from molybdenum alloy for extra strength and heat resistance. Okay, so while I'm trying to take this zombie out, let's talk about Michael Edwards a little bit. Michael Edwards is voiced by Greg Eagles. I mentioned that a bunch of episodes ago, that Greg Eagles also provides the voice for Chattur'gha in this game. Now, in addition to voicing the two characters in this game, let's take a look at the bodies. Yeah, they didn't make it. Greg Eagles has been all over animation and video games. Now, while there were a lot of characters and work to pick from, I figured, as far as cartoons go, probably his most notable character is the Grim Reaper from the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. But as far as video games go, well, he's been in there a lot more. For example, he is Aku Aku from the Crash Bandicoot games. He is Garcian Smith from Killer 7. And like many of the other voice actors, he also did characters for Metal Gear Solid. Most notably, he was the original Gray Fox. Rob Paulson would eventually become the voice of Gray Fox in Twin Snakes. He was also, I'm forgetting the character's name, but the DARPA chief, the one that Decoy Octopus would play, pretend to be, that was him. And a personal favorite of mine, a character who is near and dear to my heart, who I often find myself quoting, he is also Sulik from Fallout 2. Fallout is really good. Maybe I should play those at some point. A desiccated corpse lies sprawled on the temple floor, dressed in desert combat fatigues. A rifle, pistol, and a variety of ammunition lie about him. The soldier appears to have gone down fighting. Should Mike collect it? Yes. An assault rifle, some ammunition, an automatic pistol, some 9mm ammunition, and some grenades. So he's prepared for battle. The assault rifle can also be shot in single shot, burst, or automatic mode. We're going to go with burst for the time being. Oh, it can also be set to shoot grenades. We'll go with burst for the moment. Now, there's another reason that Michael is kind of special to me. I had a friend named Brian, and me and him, we both loved these kinds of survival horror games. He helped introduce me to a few of them. For example, I played Evil Dead because of him. But me and him, especially him, he always had this idea that a firefighter would be a great protagonist in a survival horror game, given that they're generally physically fit, they have training with unusual equipment for like breaking down walls, climbing them, fire axes, and their jackets would be heavy duty enough to protect them from, say, zombies trying to bite them. So I was real excited to find Michael as a playable character. Brian, on the other hand, well, I don't know. I think it might be because Michael didn't hang on to his jacket. Didn't seem to be as interested. I'm not dealing with you. We don't even have the Tome of Eternal Darkness yet. We are kind of lacking the... Oh! Hello. We are lacking the equipment we need just a little bit. But Michael is fun to play because he has the firepower necessary to really put the hurt on these enemies. Okay, let's clear out this hallway first. Okay, I think that is everything. Okay, so we're going to go more or less back to the beginning, work our way down, checking out each one of these ladders. Oh, that's right, somebody in the chat mentioned that Greg Eagles also provided the voice for the General in St. Rose 2. Alright, this is a bad enemy. It's a bad enemy and we're going to avoid fighting it. We want to get this though. Situated on a waist-high plinth is a gold amulet. Circular in shape with a series of jewels clustered around what appears to be a glass lens. It has a fitting on one side as though it was once attached to something. Yeah, that's important. You guys are not. You guys can just rot. An odd, battered staff lies upon the dais. A long staff made from hardwood, its finish once clean and resplendent, is now dented and cracked. One of the staff is merely bare wood, indicating that something was once attached to the end. Well, that something was this gold amulet. We now have a staff. I think Michael has really good health, but his sanity and his magic are, well, unimpressive. But since he makes quick work out of these enemies, it's usually not a big deal. It looks like a scaled replica of the area. The model is made from clay and seems brittle. Some of the buildings appear to have been coated with a reflective glaze. A depression lies in the floor in front of the model. Perhaps something may be placed there. That something is the staff with the amulet. And now we're pulling, what is this, Raiders of the Lost Ark? We want to move this around so that the light reflects on those domes. There we go. Alright, that opens up those slots there, and this larger one will reflect light. There we go. That opens up a passage right behind us. And now it's Michael's turn. So from really early in the game, I think from Anthony's chapter, we were slowly watching this area fill up with statues. And now every stand for statues is full. And the last statue, well, that belongs to Edward. Now, I want to point out to you that Michael's chapter is actually happening before Edward dies. But sure enough, Edward's statue is here. In fact, every statue is here. Alright, now that Michael has the tome, let's start setting up our defenses. Okay, he does not have a lot of magical energy, so some spells he's just not going to be able to cast. Now, thankfully, this spell here, this magical shield, is kind of permanent. It only goes away as he gets attacked. There are a lot of trappers down here. That may be all of them. Okay, your magic isn't quite full yet. There's bad stuff up here. Yeah, some green horrors. But we should be able to make quick work out of them. Ow. Hang on, we got Flip turned upside down. Uh-oh. So let's reload real fast. And we'll finish you off with our axe. Ah, good. That's most of our sanity back. Well, not most of it, but a good chunk. Alright, I want to do some enchantments. Just some low-level ones, so we can get our equipment back up in the inventory. Nope, it's Alex and Grandpa again.
Ah, sweet Alex. Many centuries I've waited for you.
You are mine. Don't disappoint me now. I've waited such a long time, Alex.
Never! I know what you are. I've seen what happened.
You can try to
That's not Grandpa.
In the end, you shall succumb to my desires. My foolish child. You don't even know your own destiny.
Get away from me!
So, it seems Pius was Grandpa. Was he always Grandpa? That's a good question. Okay, your magic is back to full, so I'm going to cast Magic Pool, where it'll try 5 points. Okay. Now, take your time and look in this area. This has something really important that you could very easily miss if you're not looking for it. It's not the worms. The worms are the least important things here. It's the jade effigy. Now we need to cast a 5-point Chattur'gha dispel magic. Now that we have the emerald effigy, we have all 3 of them. A small statue of a scholar ravaged by unseen foe. It is made from clear emerald. And I think we're also going to save. Now, if we actually go back this way, this ladder should bring us up to that room. Those 2 guardians I was trying to avoid. No. Brings me to a different room altogether. Out of my way, zombies. I think this is the area where Roberto had to open the 4 gates. Yeah, now this is back with these jerks. You guys I really don't want to deal with. Just a little too much trouble. Well, we've lost our shield, so let's restore it. We've also lost our magical pool. It'll be a little while, but we'll be able to use it again. We really want to go up this ladder. Nope. I see a guardian and a zombie. I'm going to go fight another zombie. Let's help out. So this might not be a good idea. The red one is going to come after us. No, I don't want to cast that spell. We're gonna run past you. Uh-oh. Trappers. A bunch of them. Well, damage field? Not a bad idea, but it's not what I wanted to cast. Okay, it's time to go do something really important. And it's not take out this really big zombie. It's in here. And these zombies we have to take out. Yeah, just die. You see, there are these bas reliefs depicts a proud warrior. The image is very strong, dominating this part of the room. Below the design is a small ledge protrudes from the wall as if awaiting something. Now, this is red and it looks like a warrior. Now here is a green one. This bas relief depicts a female scholar, where authoritative glare dominates this part of the room. Below the design, a small ledge protrudes from the wall, as if awaiting something. Alright, so we have a green scholar here. This bas relief depicts a sorcerer casting a spell. There's an air of authority about him, conveyed by his dominating visage. Below the design, a small ledge protrudes from the wall, waiting for something. Well, what they're waiting for are these effigies. And they're waiting for the effigy that they dominate. So we know Chattur'gha dominates Xel'lotath. Take it easy, Michael. Xel'lotath trumps the powers of Uliath. And the magic of Uliath defeats the strength of Chattur'gha. That was completely optional. This is not something we need to do during the course of the game. But it opens up a secret passage a few rooms back. Alright, let's get our magic pool going again. And this secret passage leads us down to a little room. And we can hear a voice calling out to us. And looky what's here. Cradled on the stone plinth, on a stone display plinth, is an enchanted gladius. Energies writhe across its surface, pulsating the surrounding air. This is a permanently enhanced gladius with the magic of Chattur'gha. This will never lose its energy. Now, unfortunately, Michael cannot use it. Its gladius carries a powerful enchantment. This unique weapon can only be wielded by its destined owner, the Guardian of Light. Well, if it's not Michael, who is it? A strange obelisk made from dark granite-like material. It appears to be blocking the way forward, but the obelisk appears to be impervious to all damage. Now, this is one that probably doesn't come to you immediately, because we've only used this once before, and we used it to get rid of a body. Yeah, that's right. We're summoning a trapper. The trapper is going to teleport this block of stone away for us. I would say that's not a very obvious solution to that problem. And that probably left several people a little confused as to what to do. I know it did me. I don't think I dumb lucked through that or anything. I probably had to have someone tell me the answer or look it up. Oh, and there's our final spell. A shrine fashioned from disinterred human remains stands at the far end of the room. Resting in the arms of the bone trustee is a scroll of paper covered in arcane scribblings. And we now have the bind the spell scroll. A note is scribbled on the scroll. It reads, "This magic enables the caster to bind a creature with magic, forcing it to ally with them. It requires the Bantarok and Artak runes." Well, it ends up we're going to need that. Like right now. Because there are 2 green guardians hiding behind this wall. Not guardians, but horrors. And we can't get to them. But the bind spell can. So we're going to cast it at level 7 with Chattur'gha. Alright, we just gained control of one of them. Now the 2 of them are fighting. Now together, the 2 of them are strong enough to keep this barrier up. But when one slays the other, that's not going to be the case anymore. But that does mean we have to deal with the survivor. Now, why did we go through that? Because a block of explosives is laying there. So there's that voice again, and it wants us to go destroy that bridge that Roberto lowered earlier. how the heck are we going to get there? There should be a door here. An innocuous paneled wall caps the end of the room. It is conspicuously empty by comparison to the other walls in the room. Well, what we need to do is cast Reveal Invisible, but we don't have enough magic yet. We gotta recharge it a little bit. And we're going to do that by running laps around the room. Oh, dang it. Really? Oh, come on. Really? Fine. We'll just cast the Reveal Invisible. Alright, we're through. Now, just like with Roberto, the passageway here is, trapped with magical energy. But we have our shield up as is, so we can make it across safely. Detonator caps for C4 explosives. Handle with care. Alright, yeah, we've heard you say that before. But who are you? These electrical detonator caps will transform a package of otherwise safe C4 explosives into a primed bomb. They have a built-in timer set for a maximum of 3 minutes. Now let's mix them up. We have a C4 bomb. And let's run! The worms are back. For centuries, evil has been channeled through this pit. Countless souls sacrificed to the darkness. Someone must end this madness. A bomb placed here would be enough to pull the already collapsing city down into oblivion, destroying everything inside. Now, before we do that, we want to make sure we are prepared. One of those things to make sure we're prepared is to make sure our shield is at full power. This magic pool will help us keep our 3 stats as high as possible. Our magic is recharging nice and quickly. I think we can cast the shield now. Okay, let's go below this sucker. Even with all the explosives, there's probably not enough to bring down the city. There must be a way of making it more powerful and increasing its damage potential. Well, do we know any ways that we could possibly enhance the explosives to be more powerful? Well, I can think of a way. We can enchant them. Actually, we already have a level 7 enchantment set to the Y button. Alright, the item is now enchanted. Mike has activated the bomb's timer. The countdown has begun. Almost in answer, A deep, low rumbling begins to reverberate through the dungeon. Mike has 3 minutes to escape the Forbidden City and get to safety. Alright, run, man, run! Alright, first things first, we gotta get across this little barrier here. We actually have more than enough time, but that's also going to depend on what we do. Like, we're not going to sit here and fight with you. Or any of you. We are just going to run. And this door is now no longer barred. No, no, no. We're going to leave all of you alone. I think there are 2 horrors down here. But thankfully, we're faster than them. Alright, and there's our way out. I think that's it. There's nothing else to check out. Alright, a few years later. There's Edward.
Thanks for coming. I didn't think you'd show.
Look, I have no idea who you...
I think you do. Just as much as I know you know. Now let's be quick. The Guardians know where I am, and I won't last the night. But that's not the point.
What's this?
Something you need. Don't open it here. Only in privacy. They can sense it if it's not shrouded.
Is it one of the artifacts?
You must leave now. Look, there's something I have to do before they get to me. I can't protect you if they find us. Good luck.
Now, I heard that this scene was planned with Michael committing suicide at the end of it. I don't know if it was scrapped or, gotten rid of for censorship reasons. There's more I would like to talk about this, but that's going to have to wait until next time.